Hi, welcome to Edward Box Guitar Tuition. So my classic album inspection today is Ratt's Detonator album, released August 21st, 1990, so it's 35 years old today. So I bought this album back in the day and I wasn't that keen on it. I loved the opening track, Shame, 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 and I loved the last track, Top Secret. In between that, I seem to remember really liking Hard Times and Loving You's a Dirty Job. Wasn't really fussed about the other tracks. I definitely preferred the first two albums, obviously, and certainly preferred Dancing Undercover and Reach from the Sky. But coming back to it now, you can see the band was actually trying to kind of get the songs better. They brought in Desmond Child and a different producer called Arthur Payson, I've never heard of, but anyway, he gets quite an interesting sound. If you remember, Ratt had always ended up working with Beau Hill. He was picked for the first two albums. He was reticently employed for the third, and then Mike Stone was supposed to do the fourth album, Reach for the Sky, but then things went wrong and they had to bring Beau Hill in. Beau Hill's sort of renowned as someone who's able to salvage albums but also get performances and create albums with bands who maybe couldn't play as well in the studio. But that's certainly not the case with Ratt. I think one of the things you notice on this is what a good drummer Bobby Blotzer is. There's a lot of really good swing, a lot of really good feels on this album. Obviously we know Warren DeMartini's expert. Unfortunately, Robin Crosby doesn't really get any lead on this album. He's obviously too far into his issues, which is a shame. Juan Crucier has always been solid and had a great backing vocal voice. And Stephen Pearcy, there's problems with his issues with voice, but again, on this album, you can hear he's making a bit more effort. He's trying, he's fighting a bit harder than he did on the previous two albums, I think. I think the reason for that is they had, after Out of the Cellar went triple platinum and Invasion double platinum. The Dancing Undercover and Reach for the Sky, they just achieved platinum status. There was more competition. There was the feeling that they needed a hit. Hence, they brought in someone like Desmond Child, who's renowned for his co-writing abilities and able to build hits. So the album starts with Intro to Shame, which is just a little kind of Warren DeMartini feedback, bluesy thing. Then it goes into Shame, Shame, Shame. This is one of the great all-time Ratt riffs. And it just shows DeMartini's genius with a riffing up. What's great is the syncopation and the way it's bouncing off the beat. And then Bobby Blotzer comes in, and again, like I said, his drums just sit back in the beat just right. You've got to admire the feel. You can hear, not so much in the style of this track, but throughout the song, I think you can really hear the Aerosmith influence probably more prevalently than on any other album, maybe apart from Way Cool Jr. I think you can hear that kind of swing and that funkiness that Aerosmith had, and Van Halen at times coming in to the Ratt sound. So it's DeMartini doing the music, Stephen Pearcy and Desmond Child working on the hooks, 4 minutes 32. This is a great track. The production's more open, it's not squeezed as the Beau Hill sound. I think the guitar sounds pretty cool on this, is a little more rawer. DeMartini's kind of going for a bluesier sound on this, a little more laid back, a bit more sort of Strat on the neck pickup kind of sound. Then you got Loving You's a Dirty Job, another really great track, kind of fitting in with that slip of the lip vibe. Nice lead guitar from DeMartini. I've kind of come to appreciate his solos more on this album as time's gone by. I liked his more shreddy style when he first came out, but by this point he's kind of digging at the pocket more. He's doing kind of more syncopated, bouncing over the beat runs and blues infused stuff, and it's really his very mature performance. So Loving You's a Dirty Job from his 14, really good track again. Desmond Child co-writes this. He co-writes the next track, Scratch That Itch. This is a good catchy track. It's got a really catchy chorus again. Bobby Blotzer does a good dak sort of doubled up beat. Only 3 minutes 16. I think one of the things we forget about Ratt is they've got a really good ability to arrange songs. They never did long songs, and they always wrote really good bridges generally. So they'd have a verse and then a bridge, always spun really well into the chorus. It's something that gets overlooked, I think. Next track was One Step Away. Now I can't remember whether this finished side one it wouldn't have done. So One Step Away. This is probably my least favourite track on the album, but it's okay. It's an attempt to kind of get more of a single. Bobby Blotzer gets a co-write on this. It is catchy, but it's not my favourite track. And then you've got Hard Time. I think it's another really good track. When I originally bought the album, this is one track that stood out. So I suppose looking at it in that way, the album was quite front-loaded for me when I got it at the time. It was, the tracks I really liked initially kind of came early on. Hard Time again's got a again a cash funkiness to the riff. really good, and it's got a really sort of rolling 16 verse with a really good beat from Bobby Blotzer. So that was the end of side 1. Side 2 open with Heads I Win, Tails You Lose, 3:59. I'm guessing Juan Crucier does the backing vocals on this. Heads I Win. Really catchy. Another good album track. And then the next track's kind of like the deep cut. It's the track I'd sort of forgotten about over all the years. But I think this is one of the album's best tracks. It's All or Nothing. Again, you've got that Aerosmith swing to this. Really good chorus. And then they kind of got a skill with a gospel-y type voice. It does a all or nothing, I think. Let's just have a look at the personnel. Guest musicians. Yes, Miriam Vale, backing vocals in All or Nothing. And she does additional backing vocals. She's brilliant on this track. It's just bringing in that other element, kind of not like Great Gig in the Sky, but it's that vibe, putting juxtapositioning, I suppose. Rolling Stones would be the best example, someone like Gimme Shelter. Really good, it works really well. I think that's probably, come from Desmond Child as an idea. And Robin Crosby does, Wanda Martini does some nice, I think, slide on this. And then the next track, Can't Wait on Love, is another really good Ratt rocker. It's 4 minutes and 4. The band all write this. I should mention, Robin Crosby, he's actually got a couple of credits now. Really good track, kind of rocking verse, really good verse. A lot of power in it, quite a sort of got that classic Ratt style. Then there's Giving Yourself Away. This is the album's big attempt at getting a single. Just looking here, the album is not featuring Ratt's only power ballads, so it obviously didn't work. Again, this track, I do think it's good. Diane Warren actually co-writes on this, so the band really pushing out there to bring in a hit doctor. You got Stephen Pearcy, Desmond Child. I'm guessing Diane Warren's had the music for this and they've adapted it more into rock format. This is the only track over 5 minutes. In fact, I would hazard a guess, if you looked at every Ratt album, up to and including this point, I suspect this might be the only track they ever did over 5 minutes. The songs were that tight. This album's 42 minutes and 12, So, again, this is probably me second least favourite track, but I do think it's better than One Step Away. I do like it. Then you've got Top Secret. So this is interesting. This is an old Mickey Ratt song from when Stephen Pearcy had his original incarnation. This has got a great sort of slightly atonal riff, the semitone type riff. Really good. It's got a great DeMartini solo. He does the neck pickup and he does quite interesting. He does a diminished 7 run, which isn't typical DeMartini. It's kind of more thing Randy Rhoads would do. It's really good. Really kind of, it's quite interesting. It's actually got a kind of James Bond, again, that's fitting in with the Top Secret. It's got what I call a moving fifth. And that's one of the best tracks. The album starts, like I said, finishes with the 2 best tracks. But I think looking at this, I give it an 8 out of 10, maybe more, but certainly an 8. I think the production's maybe a bit too spread, but Ratt really did need to do something different. I think while I didn't pick up on it on the time, I think I was probably a little bit disappointed with DeMartini kind of toning down his guitar playing. On Reach for the Sky kind of went up a notch again from Down to Undercover and started kind of, doing some blistering face melters. On this he calmed down. I was probably looking at it too much from a guitarist point of view. But I was looking at it now, looking at it more from the songs and like how the band's tried to kind of make an effort just to kind of refine what they're doing. So Ratt, we're a good band, there's 5 Ratt albums, and including the EP, they're just chock full of good songs, and they've always been in the shadow of Motley Crue to a certain extent. They came out of the traps both kind of equal really, with sort of equal sales and exposure, and then things tailed off for Ratt. I think really, shallow reason, I think Motley Crue had more charisma. I think Vince Neil voice is more palatable than Stephen Pearcy. Obviously Stephen Pearcy's got the best sounding voice, he's a bit Marmite. I think Vince Neil's better. Vince Neil's better looking as well. Nicky Sixx was really good looking. Robin Crosby was a cool guy, he's good looking. Warren Martini was. But I think I was watching something, Martin Pop of Contrarians. They were talking about Ratt album, maybe was Dancing Undercover, but he made a good point. There's only 4 people in Motley Crue. And the more people you have in a band, the harder it is to kind of attach to characters. And Motley Crue have 4 distinct characters, and you couldn't really say that about Ratt. You had Warren Martini, the guitar hero, but didn't really have anything else like that. You didn't have someone standing up where Nicky Sixx does. So, Great stuff. Just quickly, Miles Schenker plays the tag on Shame, Shame, Shame. There's obviously a bit of Schenker in there. Schenker actually ended up playing with Ratt on this tour into 91. Robin Crosby must have been let go due to his substance issues. So really weird. There is footage of Schenker playing. That's like DeMartini. You know, Schenker would have been a huge influence, and they did. Schenker ended up doing with Bobby Blotzer that project name, I can't remember it, but anyway, it had Cher Pedersen, Vixen in it, and so on, and Robin McCauley. Contraband, sorry. Yeah, so yeah, 35 years old today. Ratt's Detonator album, and if you've not checked it out, it is a good late glam metal album in that era. Okay, remember to share and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks very much.